Hi, man about town. I'm Finn Bennett, and today we're going to be looking back at some of the most surreal moments of my career, frame by frame. Okay, well, so this first image is Black Doves. It's a show I was part of, very lucky to be a part of a couple of years ago. And here I'm pictured in the car with Ben Whishaw and Keira Knightley, two people who I've always watched and always admired. And I can't tell if this is actually on location or we're in a studio, but I do believe it's in a studio, and we had a kind of moving background, and the car was, Ben was kind of pretending to do driving. It was a really long scene, and we were really trying to keep it together, and we kept on corpsing. It was loads of fun. They were both lovely, lovely people. I had a really, really brilliant chat with Ben once about kind of what he looked for in acting and what made him happy and what made him respond to a performance. That's a really lovely memory. This is a picture of me at the True Detective premiere with Jodie Foster, who we worked together for 6 months in Iceland. This picture is probably going to say anything more than I could possibly say. I was so lucky to work with her, and I'm so proud of that project. It was such a beautiful moment that we got to celebrate all of that, and HBO really pulled out all the stops for this. We had throat singing, we had an ice sculpture, we had all these amazing people who made this show possible, and they made it work. It's a ridiculous smile from me. I remember when I first started doing prep with Jodie and everybody else, and Jodie, when I asked her, I was like, what should I be doing to prep? What should I be doing to make sure I'm ready for the role? And her exact words were to go out dancing. I don't think she kind of meant like don't take it seriously or anything, but she just wanted me to have fun and stay loose. And if I ever got in my head about things, it wasn't kind of a case of talking me down or anything. She was like, don't be ridiculous. That's why we do too. That's why we go again. So yeah, a lot of love for Jodie. This is a picture of a man with a very bad haircut. This is me in True Detective as Peter Pryor. I had the fun task in that show of explaining things to the detectives. So when things were happening off camera, it was often implied that I would be like finding these things out and reporting back. And I think I'm kind of walking Jodie through some tax records here, or something like that. But I really, really miss this character. He was a lovely boy, and it was such a kind of beautiful arc. I really miss the people I shot this with. I'm still in contact with many of them, but I will never get another experience like this. I lived in Iceland for 7 months to shoot this. I had my own apartment. I had a whole kind of life there, and my apartment was right outside the hot dog stand, and I miss those hot dogs. Anyway, yeah, that's me as Peter Pryor. This next picture is a photo of myself, Marie Cullen, being handed our awards by Angelina Jolie. This was the Chopard Trophy in 2025, and I went to Cannes. I was filming at the time, so I had like 2 nights off, and I flew to Cannes. The flight was super delayed, it was super stressful, and I was kind of in amongst all the madness. And this was just kind of maybe like one of the most surreal, bizarre dinners I've ever had just before this picture. Like, you kind of look over there and like Jeremy Strong is there, and you look over there and like Halle Berry's there. It was a fever dream, and I collected my award, I went to sleep, and then I woke up the next day and I went back to filming in Cardiff, and that was lovely. Yes, 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 yes. This photo was taken at perhaps 3 in the morning in a tattoo parlor somewhere in West Hollywood. I remember our hotel was there. We had like gone to the after party, we had gone to somewhere else, and then we were like coming back, and I was the only one that didn't have the tattoo. And we were coming back, and somebody looked around there like, it's open. And yeah, I guess, that's the face of a man who thinks he's made all the right choices in life. And yeah, I went and got my tattoo, and I woke up the next morning and I looked at my kneecap and I said, oh, look, there's a tattoo there. And yeah, now I have a matching tattoo with 12 other brothers, and that's really sweet, and I miss them all a lot. I mean, I literally speak to them all the fucking time, so I don't miss them that much, but yeah. We're all in a group chat. It's a very lively group chat. Also, if Michael Gandolfini is watching, it was a lovely Christmas card again. Michael Gandolfini does a great Christmas card if anybody ever is lucky enough to receive one of those. Yeah, those, I share a tattoo with all of those boys. Isn't that something? This is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, my new show. This was taken on the first day of filming. I believe this is the first scene I shot. I had like come straight off warfare. I had like less than a week in between, and I like flew to Belfast, and I remember going in and they put my wig on. My wig would take like an hour and a half every morning, and I got on this fucking massive horse, and it's quite difficult to maneuver the cloak in such a way that when you get off the horse, you don't kind of get stuck up there. So they had to bring these little plastic steps out for me, and I'd kind of hop off my horse and they would do like a quick cut, take out the plastic steps, and then I'd be stood there next to Peter Claffey, who is a giant of a man, and I'm not particularly tall, but that was always funny looking at the stills from that moment in particular. And yeah, this show comes out this month, so I'm very excited. I did not know how to horse ride before the show, no, but they gave us all horse riding lessons, and that has to be my favorite part of the show. I loved the horses. I could spend all day I love traveling from one place to the other on the horse. You know, occasionally we just have to go kind of like round and round in circles, but like at the end of every time you could take it for a little trek, and I loved that. I really, really loved that. I would do that again in a heartbeat. No, I didn't ever expect that I would be a part of it. No, I guess I remember walking out the audition and being like, I've completely failed that. And then being amongst kind of all of those actors who are a part of Game of Thrones and a part of the House of the Dragon is a real, real honor. Yeah, I'm very, very proud to be part of that. This has been Frame by Frame with Man About Town. Thank you for watching.